Hello, welcome to a new video, and in this particular video we'll be looking at other tags. In our previous video we were considering the various H tag we saw from H1 down to H6, and in this new video we'll be considering the other tags that we have in HTML in order to continue with our web development. Permit me to delete that particular tag for now. The next tag we'll be looking at is what we call the paragraph tag, the P tag. We actually call it the P tag. Now this P tag, as the name implies, we actually use it for paragraph. Let's say you have some sort of a lengthy text that communicates a particular point on your website. Okay, let's say something like, let me just write, how are you doing, for example, and then let me generate a dummy text. It's just a dummy text for us to see what we have. So let's go to the browser and see what we have. When I refresh, you find out that we have a paragraph here, and you will discover that this is quite different from the heading tag, because when you consider the font size, even the heading tag appears to be bold, whereas this one is not that bold. So this one is for actually paragraph. Now let me copy it and paste so that we can have up to 2 or 3 and see how they will be arranged. Ctrl C to copy and then just keep space, then paste it. Alright, let's refresh our work and see what we have. Oh, we have 3 paragraphs. This is the first, this is the second, and of course the third. Then there are some things we can actually do to this. Let's say, for example, I want to bold a particular text. Let me bold this word doing. So I'll just go to where that text is and then add a tag we call B tag. I'll open it and then let me just cut the doing with Ctrl X, then paste it here. You can actually type yours manually if you want to. So always remember to save your work. We save. Let's go to the browser and see what we have. I'll refresh. Whoa, the word doing has actually changed. It is now bold, and I can actually do the same to this particular doing here using another tag, a new tag in which we can actually use to achieve that. Let me come to the second paragraph and use that. We call it strong. I will do the same thing by either typing it manually. I will just cut this and paste it here. This is the opening tag like we said in the previous video, and this is the closing tag. I will refresh it and then we see what we have. Wow, doing. So the both are actually bold. Then another tag I want to introduce us to is the I tag, the italics. We actually use it to italize whatever we are doing. Okay, let's say for example I want to play with the word how. So I will come to where how is, and then let me keep a little space, and then then I will now do the same thing by cutting it or typing it manually as the case may be, and paste it here. Let's see what happens. I refresh, and if you notice how has actually changed, this is the italics form of it. And let me also use another tag that can actually give us the same thing. It's actually a new tag. It is called the EM, and then I will copy this and paste it here. Always remember to save your work. Please make sure you save your work, so that when you refresh on the browser like I'm about to do now, it will work for you. I'll refresh. Oh, you see how has actually changed. Now, a very curious mind or a curious student might be forced to ask, all the tags, we have to open them and close them. Does it mean that we don't have other tags that we can actually open without closing them? We have other tags that we can open without closing them. They are called self-closing tags. For example, is the HR tag. HR tag is used to draw a horizontal line across the screen. Let's say I want to separate paragraph 1 from paragraph 2 using an horizontal line. I will just do HR. And now notice I did not close it the way I have a close. What I mean by closing tag, having another tag with a forward slash, like in the case of this I here, in the case of this EM here, in the case of this strong here. This one is just HR. So it is a self-closing tag. Now let's see what we have on our browser. I'll refresh. Let's wait for that. Okay. So you see we have an horizontal line being drawn across our screen here. So that's actually an example of a self-closing tag. Now another self-closing tag we can have can be the input tag. Let me just below it, let me do input. This one we use it in creating forms, in which in the later part of this course we are going to create a very comprehensive form that contains almost everything. So input, let's see what we have. We refresh. Oh, you see, let's say we want to type something in here, we want to sign into our Facebook or fill a form. So it is actually a self-closing tag. And then another self-closing tag, in which is very important to us, is the BR tag. Now watch. Assuming I want this particular word to start from a new line. Now, one might come here and say, okay, let's hit enter. Let's look for that word on the first paragraph. Look at it here. Let's see. If I hit enter and then go to the browser to check whether it will move to a new line, the answer is no. It will still remain where it is. So, assuming I want this particular word to start from a new line, what do? We use what we call the BR tag. So I can even return it to where it was. Look at it here. And then add the BR tag where I want the new line to start. BR. It's a self-closing tag. Let's save our work and then go to the browser to refresh and see what we have. You see, it's actually starting on a new line. So that is another example of a self-closing tag. A BR tag is an example of a self-closing tag. All right.